Hey everybody, the game I chose for the game critique assignment was Grim Dawn. It's been sitting in my Steam library for quite a while. I'm highly interested in ARPGs, RPGs, CRPGs, really any role-playing type game. So beginning with what I don't like, because I want to leave off with a good foot because I did enjoy this game. There were just some things that I didn't like what you're looking at right now, the UI. That is probably my biggest gripe is how it seems like they tried to cram too much information into too small of a window. And at least for me, and in my opinion, it's very difficult to read. It takes me out of the game. It makes me not want to read about what the different stats are, to read about what the lore is. It takes me out of it. And I really didn't enjoy any part of the menus. The world map was fine. Um, there was also another thing I didn't like, which is coming up soon, is there's this like star map, kind of like what Elder Scrolls Online does, what Skyrim did. But I can't really knock this right here. What Path of Exile does is this giant star map of skills, and it's not that it exists. That's the problem for me. Of course, I understand why it's there. It's for builds. It's to, take it to the next level. However, the fact that it's instantly available to me at such a low level, it's kind of overwhelming in my opinion. So that was another thing that I didn't really like, and I know that my dislikes are at this point in time are pretty small. Like there's probably a setting, change the UI, font size, all that kind of stuff. But these are things to me that seem like small problems, but become problems on a bigger scale. Like when you have players that don't want to read about the lore, then it kind of makes you ask, is it even worth including if players aren't going to seek it out and even read it? It's, to me, kind of a waste of time if you don't make it enjoyable to read or you don't make it enjoyable to look at, then the chances of players wanting to engage with it is not very high. Moving on to things that I did like, because there's a lot more of them. Number one, combat. Combat was very satisfying, very responsive. I was actually playing this with a gamepad through Steam, and there was no input lag. It was very, very well done. On top, kind of compound two things that I liked: skills along with combat. There are a huge, diverse amount of skills that you can combine. There's equipment that has skills built in it. There are gems that have skills built into them. And then you have your skill tree that you kind of pick out what you want to do, whether it's sword and board, two-handed, you want to do magic, firearms, dual wielding daggers, if that's your thing. Um, there is a high replayability factor to this game, and only being 5 hours in, I can already see it. Another thing right here, what you're looking at, is environment. There's not, I mean, it's a linear environment, right? It's all leading you to the same place. But what you just saw was I built a bridge and I could have skipped this cave that I'm currently in. So to me, when a game is layered like that and it gives you choice, that's something very positive. The overall aesthetic of the game, how dark it is, how, I guess, moody, if you would want to say that, the game is, I found it to be very enjoyable. It's very pleasing. All of the visual and auditory effects are amazing. So overall, I would definitely recommend Grim Dawn to anybody who is looking to expand their ARPG. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a beginner ARPG because it doesn't do a very good job of explaining what stats are. It doesn't do a good job in the tutorial sense. And if I had to chalk in another dislike, that's one. But the boss fights, like you just saw, although they are a little easy at first, they're very satisfying to complete when they drop their little orb and you break it open and the fountain of loot comes out. It's awesome. So yeah, that's been my game critique of Grim Dawn, and I totally recommend it to any of you guys looking to expand your ARPGs.